Heading to the second half, St. Vincent St. Mary, led by LeBron James, with a 5-point lead on the #1 team in the country, the Oak Hill Academy Warriors, out of Mouth of Wilson, Virginia. Some beautiful aerial shots tonight, courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. With us is the blimp Spirit of Goodyear, continuing a 77-year tradition as the aerial ambassador and icon of the 104-year-old company. Dan Schulman and Dick Vitale, Bill Walton, Jay Billis is with us as well. Well, guys, very briefly, because we're going to get to action here, how'd you think James did in the first half?
Well, I thought his passing skills were absolutely brilliant. I thought that his shot selection certainly was suspect, but you could see greatness all over him, Bill.
I was extremely impressed with every part of his game, with the exception of the start, and I'm reminded of the time John Wooden went to see Jamal Wilkes play high school basketball. Jamal stunk it up and couldn't do a thing. John Wooden said, no way I'm recruiting this guy. Denny Crum, then the assistant, said, Coach, give him one more chance. LeBron James certainly delivered after the first 4 or 5 minutes of this tilt.
Give him one more shot, baby. They gave him one shot. He was an NBA first round in the same year you were #1 in '74.
Rookie of the year. It's amazing how those championships just tended to follow Jamal around.
Oak Hill in black and St. Vincent St. Mary in gold. James now with the ball, wears number 23. He was the high scorer in the game in the first half, but he got a lot of help from Romeo Travis with 9 points and 8 rebounds. Ivan Harris had 11 and 7 to lead Oak Hill. James with a rebound and a putback.
They can't handle him on the offensive boards. He's so quick to the interior, Bill.
What I'm liking here is we're seeing a man playing amongst boys, but the man is not a giant man. He's not an overly tall player like a Shaq or a Yao Ming.
He's 6'8", about 235, 240 pounds. I mean, who knows what he projects out to in the NBA? Is he a 1, a 2, a 3, or is he just a whatever he wants to be?
He's just a player, man. Yeah. He can play anywhere on the floor. I was talking at halftime with Jim O'Brien. He said, let me tell you, Dick, he said, this kid is for real. He said, I've seen him perform, and we've seen that out here. That was a great pass before by Marcus Williams going out to UConn. Look at this right here, beating him one-on-one.
The strength of the lower legs, the explosiveness. Rarely do you find the complete physical package in someone who's not 18.
I'll tell you
That's what you forget. He's only 17 years old.
He was described to me by someone, I'll let him remain anonymous. He said he has the instincts of Magic on the perimeter and the explosiveness of Michael Jordan. Now that is one heck of... He said, I'm not saying he's Michael and I'm not saying he's Magic, but that is what he possesses. Would you agree with that, Bill?
I'm seeing a lot of very positive things. And to even be having the discussion
shows
a statement.
Well, the fact that we're here. The fact that we're here.
Absolutely.
We wouldn't be here. He would be on TV here if this kid wasn't for real.
But also we wouldn't be here without Oak Hill.
Exactly.
Yes. But it is hard to find somebody who says they've seen a better high school player in the last 10 or 15 years. Now, how that projects out is anybody's guess.
Coach Wooden was talking about Fuzzy Vanderveer from the 19 teams. But that's more than 10 or 15 years.
Hey, you know who was #2 behind you in the draft in '74? I bet you don't remember. Who was #2 behind you in the draft in '74? A
David
sad
Thompson?
story. Nope, a sad story.
No, Marvin Barnes.
Marvin Barnes. Really sad because he was so good. As you look at the halftime stats right here.
Well, neither team shooting the ball particularly well. But again, this is high school basketball.
Yep. Maybe the best team in the country in Oak Hill, at least it has been traditionally in the last few years, against one of the best teams, probably the best team in the state of Ohio. They've won 2 of the last 3 state titles, so they're certainly up there among the great teams in Ohio. Marcus Williams, no. Harris very active on the offensive glass, but he has it stripped by Travis.
One of the things that I like about LeBron James is that he's given his teammates confidence. The greatest skill of the top players is they make their teammates better.
Exactly, and that's what he possesses, that rare talent.
And when you lift their spirits, when you lift their confidence level, and you just dominate at the basket area.
And you know what he did? You just said it right there. He went from early in the game trying to show he can shoot the perimeter shot. His team was in trouble, and he said, you know where I'm going? I'm going to the interior, and I am going to dominate around the basket, and that's what he's doing. That shows you good basketball IQ.
Movement without the basketball, something he wasn't doing early in the game. He's really come alive.
Well, there are a lot of NBA guys, Bill. You do a lot of games there. I think one of the lost arts is motion without the basketball.
10-point lead now and make it 8. As that bucket will count.
Besides the cultural changes, which we've talked about so much tonight, the game today is played off the dribble. The guy who has the ball, He's looking for his own play, while the guys who don't have it, they're standing around waiting for the ball to come their way.
They're all Kodak man. They want to snap pictures. They want to take pictures.
Dion Dakins at the line, completes the three-point play.
Dick, you mentioned your conversation with Jim O'Brien at Ohio State. In my research, one of the names that kept coming up was Jerry Lucas as a high school player here in Ohio.
Special.
Such a phenomenal player.
Bobby Knight spoke so highly of him. When you talk about great players, Bobby Knight always mentions the name Jerry Lucas.
Middleton High School here in Ohio. When he got to Ohio State, he did hurt his knee. He still was a phenomenal all-time NBA player, but that guy was really, really good.
Yeah, he was absolutely talented. Another great one out of the Cleveland area. Works in television. A guy I have great respect for, Clark Kellogg.
Great one, yeah.
An unbelievable high school player at St. Joe's in Cleveland.
Concur there, as well as Jimmy Jackson from here in the state of Ohio.
Joyce has it knocked away. Oak Hill scored the last 5 to get back within 5. Williams wanted the lob, then just threw it up there in desperation, and Dakins gets the bucket.
I think it was a lob. Just a bad pass that happened to hit the rim.
Dakins going to be a good player. They tell me that Davidson's one of the schools after him that he's an outstanding student as well.
Well, every year it seems they put 4 or 5 guys into Division I basketball.
Well, you know, a lot of kids go there for the discipline, for the academics.
Only 150 students at Oak Hill. I was blown away with that.
James couldn't thread the needle on that pass. Here's Reynolds for 3, and it's a 10-0 run to tie the game.
He can shoot it. I mean, they're a talented basketball team. You're not #1 in USA Today and not be talented.
Now the competitive response from LeBron James as Coach Drew Joyce has to talk things over right now. His momentum significantly swinging back to Oak Hill.
James with a 19, including 6 already in this quarter, but it's Oak Hill on a 10-0 run and the #1 team in the country. Doesn't want to go away. They have tied up this game. Isaiah Swan getting it done here for the Warriors. Tied at 37 midway through the third quarter here in Cleveland. Dan Schulman, Dick Vitale, Bill Walton, Jay Billis with you. Well, over the years, once a year, ESPN has its next issue. A look at the guy who's really going to change the face of the sport he or she plays in the coming year. And this year, it is none other than LeBron James, who's on the cover of ESPN, the magazine. Next on your newsstands now and on ESPN2. Next is next after our game tonight as they look at LeBron James and many of the other great young stars in many different sports who could really shape their sport over the years to come.
Well, you know, people talk about hype. It's been a runaway freight train for 2 years now. I mean, general managers were watching him play as a sophomore in high school. Led his high school to the state championship as a freshman, sophomore. Got beat as a junior.
That's beautiful.
He's going in deep, and they can't handle him in deep, Bill. Once he gets the ball in that deep, he's automatic because his mom is cheering. Gloria.
This is what great players do. They take what they want.
They go to their strengths.
At the beginning of the game, he was sitting and letting the game come to him.
Exactly.
Now he's just taking over.
Well, you go to your strength.
When I used to play with Larry Bird, Larry would just get exactly what he wanted, position-wise, shot-wise, because his discipline, because his thought process. And when we saw that procession of magazine covers, we saw Yao Ming flash up there. We're starting to see that right now.
Well, I'm going to tell you this. I give you credit on that. I heard you in a game when everybody was on the kid early saying he wasn't ready, and I remember you telling Brad Nessler, I'm telling you, be patient. This guy's going to be special.
LeBron James now with 23.
Say it. Don't nod your head. Say it.
Calm down.
Led by LeBron James, who's taking charge on the bench as well. James now has 23 points, 11 already in just over 4 minutes in this quarter. And as Dick was saying, James, who has struggled with his outside shot, now starting to go inside. And he's just too big and too strong, Bill, for the rest of these kids.
He's come alive here. And he's found a way to get into the open court transition here. His teammates have picked up a little bit, too. That's given him some opportunities. But you're seeing a man who's got finishing capabilities as you rarely see this polished a level at just such a young man. And we're talking about umbilical incredible here.
Wow, don't use words like that. Now, you went to UCLA. I can't handle more than one syllable. Now, come on.
Now, let's assume he's going to the NBA, because that's the assumption that I think everybody
I don't even say I got a better chance of growing here.
Okay.
I got a better.
All right, so he's going to the NBA.
Is he eligible to go to college?
Well,
yeah, he does have the grades. He does. Yes. I did research on that, and he's now in his choice as his safety, and it's only his safety. He's not even making visits right now. The coach told me Ohio State, Florida, Duke, North Carolina,
and Louisville.
And Louisville at the 5.
But
yes.
the family is reported. There's a guy who'd love to have Jim O'Brien. But,
wow.
but the family reportedly is talking to agents and not schools at this point. Let's bring Jay Billis in. Jay, let's assume that he goes to the NBA.